Welcome back to the G.O.A.T server. So, Snowman has been up to some great stuff. I've been waiting impatiently for this for quite some time. This is the shulker farm that we've had planned, sitting out to the northwest. We've got a bunch of shulkers here sitting standby in it, and it has been doing fantastic. So far, it's gathered about a double chest full of shells already. I've never seen this many shulker shells ever. And like this feels like, this is like nothing, taking a stack of shells. But it still feels like I am robbing someone by taking that. Now, coincidentally, I need about that much. What do I need a double chest full of shells for, though? I need a double chest full of shells for a build down here. Now, we've got this section all marked off for a pretty large building. If you remember, I've been talking about a storage building for a while and not doing anything about it. I think I'm going to do something about it. We've decided, instead of sticking the storage at 0, we're going to keep that as just kind of a central courtyardy type of thingy, and we're going to be putting the storage building here, which it's going to be modeled after like a 1900s warehouse. And it has been quite a task. I've got spreadsheets. You know it's serious when there's a spreadsheet. I went and took all the major items of the game and mapped out where they go. And you know what? Let's just go take a look. So this is a world download of Rapscallion's multi-sorter. I will try to remember to put a link in the description. But I've taken his world and I have done some modifications to his sorter. Back there you could see I've been working on some stuff. And I have mapped out where things are going to go in this building. So this is a two-dimensional view of the building that I'm working on. So this warehouse is going to have a few things. So in the main chamber, there's going to be all the storage stuff. But in the entryway, it's also going to have just some general player amenities. A bulletin board, experience orb dropper thinger, so you can mend your stuff. Fire potion auto brewer right there. There will be a handy dandy box here. If you don't know what that is, that's my consumables easy grab box where you can fill it up with things like rockets, ender pearls, food, and all sorts of stuff like that. So you could just grab and go and it will automatically refill itself in a nice orderly way. And then across the way here, we're going to have our mailboxes. But anyway, in this main area, what we've got planned is a whole bunch of multi-sorters and bulk loaders for all the items in the game. So what you see in the middle here is my mock-up of what's going to be a forklift holding a pallet, and the input chest for the system is right there. And we're also going to have an overflow output and an unsortable output. And then floating in the middle here will be shelves of all the unsortable items, things like armor and tools and just anything unstackable is going to be going on shelves in here. And then around the outer walls, starting here, this will probably be like a brewing station or something here because I've got a dead wall that I can't do anything with. The system input is going to start here. First, it's going to drop off anything into the handy dandy system and top that off with whatever you're putting in. Otherwise, you can input with shulker boxes. I've got that over here. This is a slightly modified design from what we used last season, and I'm going to modify it even further and put the chest over here, but that's no big deal. But it works off the same exact principle. It's just laid out a little bit differently. So you'd be popping in through the wall, check your shulker boxes of stuff right here, all in one row. There was no great place for lamps, but this works. So if any of these lamps, they're all lit because they're all empty. But once the system's full, all the lights will be off. If it ever runs out to the point where this hopper underneath it is empty, then the light will turn on and it'll let you know which box is empty and needs refilling. But after it sorts through that, it will then pass through this pink section. The pink section is going to be a specialty section where people will be able to program their own slots for special projects that they're doing. All these plain glass areas are expansion slots. Rocks are going to be going here, everything from like cobble to obsidian to just any rocky type of block. The blue section is going to be things like ores and metals and, redstone, lapis, all those things will be going in here, and all related materials, even redstone supplies. The magenta section is pretty much everything else. Even some blocks will be in here, things like end blocks and like coral and everything that's not a rock will be here basically, except for plants. This right here is immediate burn, so stuff that will be burnt like rotten flesh will be sorted through here, and other things like uncommon foods that we don't farm, just stuff like that, just be burnt straight away. This orange section will be burnt after it fills up a full barrel of itself. So things like raw fish. What do we need more than one barrel full of raw fish for? We don't need that many cats. Now this will be double high, so there's actually going to be like 8 or so items here. The green section is going to be overflow compost. So anything more than a full barrel here will dump to a composter. So this is going to have most of our plant stuff. Things like, lily pads, vines, things that like don't need more than like one chest full. And remember, if you need to collect more than a full barrel of any of these things, you've got the pink section over there that you can program. This right here will be bone blocks, bones, and bone meal from this composter section. Then the last section is this dark green section. This is going to have all of our wood and leaves and saplings. But so what's going to be going into here is this modified multi-sorter by Rapscallion. The way this works is you throw in a bunch of junk. This thing here separates out everything, even out of full shulker boxes. It will separate all the stuff out, and it will pipe stuff up at hopper speed, and every time the item changes, it gives the system a break. So the way this works is all the items are coming in here one item at a time at hopper speed, comes in here. When it's in this hopper underneath the chest, this works as a filter. It's got an item missing. When the item getting sorted makes its way into here, it becomes the filter. When the item is in here, it unlocks the hopper so that any of these items up here matches it. It's able to drop down into there. And then it unlocks this hopper underneath, which lets the excess items filter down. And when the last item makes its way into here, it then drops that item out and redirects it up back into itself and lands itself into this chest. Now, what I have done is I have modified it so that it has a couple extra sorting capabilities. This 2-wide section now has additional sorting. So these 2 of the sideways chests on top are each going to have sub-sorting. So let's say this was for Blackstone. What happens is the multi-sorter puts all the Blackstone into this column, and before it hits these top 4 chests, it then runs through 2 of these sorters. These are standard item sorters right here. So like this one is sorting dirt, and this one is sorting grass. So if this was the grass and dirt, let's say you threw a bunch of podzol in, it would come in through here, it would bypass these 2 sorters, it would go into this section here, and then if you put grass or dirt in, it would pass through these filters instead. That's not supposed to be there. So the dirt, if you put that in, it would come down through this barrel here, come down this way. It wouldn't go into that barrel. It would come down here into this hopper and then fill this. This is what I'm calling the grab chest. So you can, the system will fill this with dirt first. And then if this backs up to the point where this hopper is full, this hopper will then want to put that dirt into this barrel. And that will then come around to this shulker loader. And this shulker loader was designed by, I think Borkon designed this. And I'll put a link to it in the description if I remember. Once each shulker box is full, this will pop it off, shoot it down here, and pop it up into this bottom chest. You know, if this were Blackstone, the design would be that all Blackstone related materials make its way into here. Then this would be plain Blackstone block. This would be shulkers full of Blackstone block. This one here, I would make it for polished Blackstone blocks. And this would be polished Blackstone blocks in shulkers. And then up there, it would be everything else related to Blackstone. And that goes for any type of material, even like deep slate. Deep slate is going to be regular deep slate and then cobbled deep slate, and then bulk for both of those. And then all the crafted deep slate things will be up in the top. I've got a couple combinations that I can do. Like I could put one bulk loader at the bottom. I could put one single sorter here. It kind of depends on what the material of the column is. And then for the compost and burn sections, it's just got 2 standard sorters and some piping to bring it down. And then it has overflow hoppers on here. So let's say we're piping in sugarcane. The sorter would catch the sugarcane, it would bring it down here. And then if there was room in this barrel here, it would make its way there. And then once this backs up all the way to here, then it's going to come out of here and then it's going to start feeding into a composter. And I don't confuse these composters here. These composters are here to reduce lag. I'm sure you've probably seen people put composters on top of their hoppers. What that does is it makes the hopper not want to check above it for any floating items. So when you have a hopper sitting out in the open, what it's doing is it's looking up here constantly to see if anyone throws an item into it. And if you cover it with a container, I'm not sure if you cover it with a certain type of container, it doesn't do the check. And I'm not exactly sure why this container is any different than a standard block or a full container. I don't know if maybe they do composters because full containers probably because full containers will feed stuff. Idiot. But anyway, yeah, that's why you use a composter. So now I get to copy and paste all this stuff together and then give it a test run. Hooray! Okay, I've got these all prepped up to paste in. I've gone ahead and changed the materials. I'm not totally sold on these materials, but the important thing is that there's 2 different types of modules. I mean, they work exactly the same, but they have to be built a little bit differently so that wires don't cross with each other. So I need 2 different colors, and I really like working with wood because you can just, it's really good for inventory management. You know, I could just have this sitting in my inventory and this can turn into 4 stacks of planks. I mean, it looks ugly, but I mean, it won't be seen, so I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this now. All right. And so what we want to do is we're going to stack this all the way across. Oh, and here's a little trick for World Edit. If you guys use World Edit, if you want a quick measurement, you just make your first selection and then go down to the end where you want to stop counting. And if you look down here, this last number right there is the total amount of blocks selected, and I've selected just a straight line, so right there that gives me my number 52. Easy counting. So 52 divided by 2 is 26. That's the amount of times that we need modules stacked in there, because these are 2 wide, but there's 2 modules in here too, so we actually want to stack it 13. Now, just that one wall, you can see how much redstone is involved in there. Now you can see why I've been putting this thing off. Yeah, gone through and made sure everything's all nice and tucked in. We got this blank module here, another one down at the other end. Cleaned up the loose hangy bits and fixed the chests, which all dump, because when you're working with observers, copying and pasting stuff just, it's not so friendly, because, I mean, every time you paste in, that's an update, so doing this is not totally easy. You got to come back and paste stuff in these things again and fix the filters down here. Whatever. It's done. We're moving on. Next wall. This thing is so big that the chests don't fully render in from across the room. Fortunately, these are a bit more forgiving when you paste them in. Handy dandies thing and make that fit. So I've got the corner selected, so this whole thing is selected. Now what I like to do is I'm gonna nudge it in place using this special flag. So if you know anything about moving stuff in World Edit, you may not know about the move with your selection. So we're gonna go move -S. The -S keeps your selection with the thing you're moving. So we're going to move 1 to the right. Good. And then 2 to the right. If you don't remember what this is a self-restocking box that's going to have everything from these shulkers all feeding into it. So it's going to have all these items set up in neat rows. When you need the items, you just pull the whole stack out except for at least one item. If you don't, then it's going to fill up with random stuff. Mostly the unstackable item. This lets you do one unstackable item, and I'm going to put shulker boxes in here because I used to put beds in there, but I grab beds a lot less often than shulker boxes, and I think everyone else does too. So I'll just maybe put a bed chest here, something like that. But something I'm adding to this is because shulker boxes go in here instead of beds, you know, you'd be grabbing one bed and that worked fine, but there's going to be many shulker boxes available in here. And if you grab a bunch of shulker boxes, then there's going to be a lot of empty spaces where a lot of items can fill things up. So it needs a timed lock. So after you close the chest, before things start dumping, it lets only the shulker boxes flow first. And then the smaller items can come in. So every time you close this box, it waits for this comparator chain to decay. You can see the signal strength dying out here. And then it allows the system to flow. Then there's this line here, which keeps everything locked, so no items will flow in if things are empty. That can create jams. If something's empty, then it creates an open slot, which other items can fall into. We could put a light here and let us know if something's empty. Is that too big? Is that too small? I think for here, I'm just going to stick with regular item sorters. Yeah. That should be fine. That should do. What I'd like to do with the labels is a lot of lag comes from item frames and player heads. So I want to keep labeling with those things to a minimum. And I want to use things like this behind me where the blocks are being used to label it. I also want to make a walkable platform up here so that we can access these program chests up here. So anytime we want to change something, what we do is we swap one of these blockers for 2 of whatever we want to sort. And then we're all good. And we also need to be sure to use stairs. Now, stairs is a good option for a couple of reasons. One is that it just adds a little bit of extra depth. 2, it lets you see more of that label block. The stairs being above that is not going to convert that over to dirt. Now, I do want to find a better way to fill this wall in. I wish there were wooden walls. You know, I wish everything had like fence and wall availability. I was hoping to keep a different material than the base here. Because the outside of this building is going to be brick too. Yeah, I mean, it's better, but I still hate it. Yeah, I'd say that's looking pretty good. Oh, the grass spread. Yeah, maybe we'll cheat and use coarse dirt up here. I think this is so weird that, like, look back there. I think this is so weird that you could see those chests render in just like that, just from inside the entryway. This building is so big that you can't see everything in it from inside it. I'm probably not going to do much more, if any, decorating. I just want to get this redstone functional, and then I'm going to throw the rest at future to deal with. So just like the Handy Dandy's box, I'm just gonna grab a big old piece of it, paste it in close, and then sink it in. Do a little bit of cleaning up on this. I keep forgetting to mention what this is. On the composters, I got this thingy here that tells me the level of the composter. Just like pretty much all my other textures, you can get this from vanillatweaks.net. I like to use a nice vibrant block to mark my corners. This makes selection really easy. There's ways to do it without corner blocks. You could use the position command, pause 1, pause 2. But that is not as easy sometimes. This separates the shulkers out. It's really neat. You know, you can't put a shulker inside of a shulker. So when you try to do that, shulkers end up in here where they will be spat onto this and unloaded. And if it's not a shulker, so now you can see the iron is dumping its way down right to here. We are going to cut this. I advise against using the cut command unless you have another copy of what you're working with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paste minus air. So what that does is it ignores the air that was in the thing that I pasted in. So I'm going to do a / paste minus A. Boop. All right, and there it is. Everything is all buried in there. Could start digging it out. See? I heard the other goats have been up to some fantastic work gathering materials, and I just wanted to check in and see what's up. This looks like this is probably the right hobo camp. Yeah. Oh, we got a bunch of chests. Oh, yes. So many bricks. We needed so many bricks. Granite 2, barrels, composters. Awesome. Oh, that's too many droppers. Mistakes were made. We got some observers. I heard Snowman's still working on observers. Good. Hoppers. This looks like it's probably the bulk of the stuff. Oh, and then there's another hobo camp over here. Plenty of spruce to go around. Good. Yeah. That'll do it. Oh, hey. Look at all these bee friends. Let's go swing over to the trading hall, grab some name tags. Trade for some emeralds first. That cannot be right. Let's have the doctor take a look. Okay. Seems like nothing here. What's going on here? Yeah. There's your problem. That should start working. Except we've got no filter now. That'll work. Wemily, I will submit a claim to your Redstone insurance. No one will ever know. Perfect. All right, let's get back to work. We're going to pipe the items over here. Pop in 16 of these. We should see them all shoot up out of the top. Redstone genius. Okay, so now we need to make a thingy here. We're going to paste in. This is another type of sorter. This will sort out stackable things, unstackable things, and shulker boxes. You see the unstackable things go in the first one. Shulker boxes end up in the second one. And then the last one will give you your unstackable things. So we want to use this to pull shulker boxes out of the system and dump them into the handy dandy system. And any overflow will go back into the warehouse somewhere. This was a design by Mazuma Games. I will try to remember to put a link in the description for this too. I've got a lot of Redstone credits this episode. I'm probably going to forget some. I'm sorry. You know what? This might be a good place to put like a bulk shulker storage meter. Yeah. Oh, that's using your thinks. How do we want to do this? Okay. Maybe. All the shulkers that make it through here will first go that way. It'll go down into here. Then any extras after that will make its way back into the bulk loader system. And this will keep it all topped off. If it backs up even further, Dang it. Yeah, we need overflow protection on this. This is just a mess. What a mess of redstone. Like, this is embarrassing. But I just want it done. I'm so done with this. Oh, no, it's worse. Why is it worse? You know what? No. I hate everything about this. No. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We want something that's a little more presentable. Much better. Idea time. I got an idea. It's been a while. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What happens here? Oop. Oh, yeah. Look at that. We've got 16 barrels of storage for our shulker boxes. Now, finally, we need to deal with these unstackable items. I'm almost thinking the best course of action is to come down here and just make an unstackable filter, like right on the corner here somewhere, and pump it up right into this thing. So some of this is actually kind of useless. I guess I'll be fixing that. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. Oh, yes. Now we just put all this in. Look at that. And the wall's got all that clearance, and it's very nice and simple. Okay, next, we need to get the item pacing circuit put in. So the items need to go in with like a special pace. When you start pumping the items through the modules, they need a little bit of time between each item type. So this thing here will take care of that. So I'm going to take this bit and I'm going to copy and paste it onto our machine, and then make an item elevator that matches this one. Okay, I think things are looking good. I think it's time for a test of, oh my god, I'm in the wrong place. Are you serious? Okay. Why does this always happen to me? Oh, okay. It is time for the first real test of the multi-sorter section. If I put in 14 iron, I should get 14 iron put into this chest right here. Alright, now I gotta figure out where it all went. Oh god, there's so many chests. Okay, there's 5 pieces of iron in that. 9 and that. Okay, alright. Crisis averted, kinda. Is this supposed to have items just sitting inside of it? What about the original? This is the original one. Yes. Aha. Okay. Always check the original. 16 iron. Okay, we got bloops. Oh, what? Oh, is this the one that's... Oh, no, I have no idea where it is. Nope. I found it. It's right where it belongs. I'm just dumb. So this section right here, you'd think it's this section here. But no, I made a spare one that I forgot about behind this wall. And if we look, there it is. Right where this chest would be. Okay. I'm a happy Gort. Okay, well, I guess now it's safe to connect the input. Okay, so everything sweeps over that way. And then it sweeps over this way. And then now we just need to make it go down. Oh my god, so many hoppers. So many composters. We want a bone block grab chest, and then we want a bone block bulk chest. And then the rest of this is just going to be bones and bone meal. You know what? We should probably slide this over one. I think that would look nicer. Paste it in. Okay, we've got a shulker loader. Okay, I think me and this bone thing came to an agreement. Let's put some bones in there. It should fill this shulker box. Let's just wait for the filter to empty. Okay, I break this. It goes in the chest. Okay, you're working. I'm really starting to run out of steam on this thing, but at the same time, very close to done. Like, look around. Look at all this stuff. Very, 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 very close. Still have to work on the output stuff. Still have to do this thing. Oh, okay. You know what? Suddenly, I'm feeling just as I did a minute ago where I was hopeless. Well, I needed a break, and I heard Snowman's got another farm that we got to figure out a location for.
Hey-ho!
So you want to do, all right, you want to do the fungus farm thingy.
Oh, yeah.
Crimson and warped, or like one of...
It's a multi...
I don't have an office anymore, so I guess we'll just do this right here. I'd actually like it if we could set up 2 of those and have one as crimson, one as warped, and have each one have an automatic shut-off control. So like anytime that the farm needs to be topped off, it just turns itself on. And since it's in the spawn chunks, we got nothing to worry about. On the initial plans, we've got it marked somewhere in the southeast area.
Now you want thinking of having these built next to each other, or
probably next to each other. All right, let's do this. Let's put it on the east border, just north of the other wood farm that Rect just put up.
Is his on the inside or the outside?
His is on the outside, but these will be on the inside. And so let's go take a fly over there. I've budgeted this corner inside for him if this thing blows up. So let's go just north of it. Yeah, let's just plop it right here. I'll throw up some scaffolding.
Yeah, I'll load up the schematics and do a couple of markers.
And don't go by the output of the farm. We can, like, if the output looks like it can be moved to a better spot, just use your best judgment on where the best location for a control room would be, and we'll route things how we need.
Yeah, even if they both feed into the same, like, say, output room. So you got chest on one side, and chest on the other side with both woods.
You know, that would be interesting to have one massive building with one common control room. Let's do that.
Also, you can have that back now.
I don't know. I remember permitting a different location.
Well, adjustments had to be made on the fly.
In a different model, if I remember correctly.
Improvements were made.
All right, so I did a little bit of building off camera. You could see everything's been all spruced up. I think this is kinda how it's gonna look. You know, I'd like a lot of spruce going on. Probably gonna have a spruce deck in here. Some kind of spruce walls. We'll do something here to texture it up a bit. I'm gonna pop a floor in here. That'll give us a little bit better idea. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of floor lighting going on, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So what I've got planned here is I'd like this to be a forklift. And I'm not going to worry about that right now either. These are going to be overflow and unsortable columns, and I got to work those out. And I still have to connect these up here, but I'm going to take a little break from that and pop in the mail system. Now this might only take me like a minute here. We want to read off of this barrel with a comparator through a block. Then we're going to power a torch here. And then that torch is going to power a repeater. And that repeater is going to power another torch, which will light up a lamp. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I might change my mind, because I think I want to throw hoppers in here. We're going to feed the barrels with a hopper. What if we try put it down here? Put it like that. And we got that there. That there. So now if you put something in here, it'll power that. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Now we just need a cart input. You know what? I'm not totally in love with it, but I think maybe the best option is we make some kind of hole right here around the corner. Okay, so when you push a button, this cart should go around, drop onto that rail, go all the way down, and then here we're just gonna put this rail all the way to this. Well, let's give it a test. Let's put in 3, 4 of those. All right, it should drop into the first 4 mailboxes. Yes. Excellent. All right, it didn't miss any. It didn't double up any. That's good. All right, let's move on. So now for the unstackables thing, I think what I want to do is I'm going to make like a storage silo thing. I'm going to turn this around. We're going to throw comparators leading off to the front of it so that we can have indicator lamps facing the entryway. Yeah, that could do. All right. I'm going to do something a little unconventional, I think. I think it's going to be pretty great. What I want to do is I'm going to use water to send some signals. So that seems to work. So the idea here is that if this ever backs up to the point where this has 4 items in it, it will activate this observer. If this observer lights up, it's going to send a water stream down here. So if we just throw one more thing in there, boop, there it goes. So if we take that out, water goes away. We're going to put in another series of trapdoors here. So it's going to come over the top of this and go down here. Does this... Whatever. Let's see if the full stack makes it. Oh, yes! You know, and then I also want some kind of overflow indicator. Okay, that could work. And then we'll fill that in there. All right, what I'd like to do is figure out a way to make an observer chain around this thing. Don't mind this, it's blocking the water. Okay, when we connect this up, it should just start going around. Yep. Okay. That light would already have been lit anyway, so whatever. We'll use this to pull this one. All right, so now if I take the item out, awesome. If we throw an item in, there it goes. Oh, that's so good. Now it just needs maybe a note block or 2. I feel like that's too polite. No. Oh, yes, I love it. Everything is great. Everything is great. All right, that could use a little bit more texturing, but I am so happy with how that turns out. I'm basically just going to take this and copy it over to the other side. There's how it looks with the 2 of them in there. This is looking really cool now. I hope that this amount of unstackable items never finds its way through the system, but I guess it won't hurt to have it. At the very least, it looks cool. You know what? I think I'm going to reverse the 2. So this will be unstackable, and it will take stuff from this right here. And then this one will be the overflow, which will take stuff off the output of the whole machine, which will be somewhere around on this side. So that would make more sense. Oh, and since items can be picked up by a player through these tubes, I'm just going to make like a little safety guardrail around this thing. All the stuff that gets sorted into like the vegetation things, if it overflows, it'll just go into this composter. I think we're just going to pipe it out that way. Maybe use a bunch of droppers and pipe it right back into the sorter, where it will go down and get sorted into the bone meal column. Something like this should work. I really hope I don't have to expand this section, because I was budgeting for this area to be the expansion, and it looks like I've got 1 slot for burnables now, which is the last thing to do Okay, well, except for pipe stuff back. I still gotta work on the return piping. I think this is the last stuff up here. This sorter is gonna have, it's just gonna be filled with stuff that will go straight to burn. I'd like it to come out of the bottom here and go into a dropper that sends it down behind this window into a block of lava. And I would like these things to also come over there. So looks like I'm going to be making another dropper elevator. Hooray. Boom, done. Check it out. We got 8 go in, 8 come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the stuff from this module comes through it too. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Last part. The unsortables and the overflow all need to get piped back over here. And then we have to test it. Went around and put in droppers for all the overflows and the unsortables and labeled them with some orange and blue wool. Just connecting them up. That's about it. This is the unstackable item filter, and that gets shot right back up into the unsortable return. There's going to be another unsortable return coming from the output of the entire sorter. And then there are 2 overflow points from the 2 main sections of the multi-sorts. So now I just got to hook that up to here and that up to here. And of course, I somehow managed to hook the wrong colors up. Clearly mark them with colors, I said. There's no possible way you could mix up obvious colors, I told myself. Done. Finally. Alright, so the last thing that we want to do, we want to wire up these overflows so that it will shut off the item input right there. So no new items can come into that chest. I added a little bit of extra storage in here just in case. So the shutoff still happens down here, but there's a couple extra chests in here just in case there's items flowing through the machine when it needs to shut down. That way anything left over in here has some extra space to gather up in. So what we got to do here is these water columns that come down need to be hooked up so that either one can shut off the machine. And we're going to use some observers here to sense whether they've fired or not. Just pop that in the hole, put that there. Same thing here. So then if either one of these fire, it will then stop the input chest. Okay, so if we power this hopper, that'll do it. I know, old school of me to make big, long redstone lines. Everybody's using rails these days. Darn kids and their observers and rails. You know, just to do a little test. Let's fire that. And we're lit there. Cool. Now we've got to test to make sure something gets all the way through the system. Let's do a real full pass. And let's throw a hopper in there. I'll get back to you in like 5 minutes after it goes through the machine. Oh, here it comes. Yeah. Yeah. And yes. Oh, it feels good. It feels really, really good. Well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for joining me on the Not the Goat server. And I will see you next episode, where we will probably be building this thing. I really hope to be building it. Everyone's been gathering materials, and everyone's really excited to have this thing up and running. I will see you guys next time on the Goat server, on our adventure to be the greatest of all time. Okay, and then what we want to do... Oh, this is so tight in here. That's what you...